saw something maybe from Team Johnson in their loss to Liquid on the burial chamber map, you know, where they were really taken out of their element, so couldn't seem to get a lot of momentum going. Maybe they're thinking they can capitalize on some weaknesses that Team Johnson has and get a win in the second map.
Now, the individual skill that we saw over here from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut on their previous match was definitely something to be admired. Specifically, some really good moments from Shadow Master, along with one of his other teammates there, was really making me worried for whoever they have to go up against. Unfortunately, like we said before, they didn't end up dropping their previous matchup there, so they now had to go down into the lower bracket and battle out just barely. They were so close to winning that previous round of 16 match that we were spectating before. Same with Team Johnson as well. Got so close to taking down Team Liquid. Had that great map one start. Unfortunately, started kind of slowing things down as we got into maps number 2 and 3, and sort of lost their way there and weren't able to take that series.
Yeah, and give a little credit to Team Liquid too. They made an adjustment with their champion picks in the future maps. Went with a little smaller lineup, faster lineup. You know, moved off the clutch, and I think maybe they felt Team Johnson was really abusing their clutch player, focusing him down, not letting him make an impact on power-ups and obelisk stuff. So it's interesting to see the meta kind of evolve with all these teams and all of them choose, you know, not just what suits their playstyle, but obviously what they feel works best, right, for this game mode.
All right, guys. Well, as you can see, the match is about to begin, so let's jump into it here now and take a look. Are we going to be having Team Johnson move on, or are their opponents going to be battling back and taking that slot for them? Let's jump into the game and take a look here to start things off as the Soul is about to spawn in 10 seconds after we get through the chaos at the beginning.
Yeah, always curious to see the strategy. Do you pick that initial Soul up? There's so many different ways to approach it. Spinning and charging in. Do you ambush the guys as they pick it up? I mean, you got a lot of options here.
Well, WhenInDoubtGauntletOut originally started off with that first pickup, but it quickly changed hands and went over into Team Johnson's side. So they were able to take obelisk A. Now they now have that under their control. They're looking to lock it down. Clamp specifically watching the side hill. They've got a few more players sneaking in from up top and on the main ventureway. But as we can see there too, another player stuck behind the pillars over here caused a little bit of trouble. Almost stole the Soul. That Shadow Master himself. He did get traded out a second later, however, after Clamp took him down. Clamp fired one more rocket and was able to eliminate him. Pierow having a little bit of problem actually holding on back there, so he's going to be taken down, and Necrophage is doing the best he can. I don't think he's going to be able to stop the Soul from being taken, though. They should be able to get it off. It's going to go back and forth. Napalm, I think, actually ends up killing himself, but right before he did, he got the Soul off of the point. So Shadow Master off the respawn, came back in, stole the Soul for himself here now, and while he does take down one more opponent, unfortunately hurt himself too heavily, so he goes down just a second later.
Yeah, nice pursuit by Team Johnson, not making it easy for WhenInDoubt to get that transition. Even though they just got it now, you can see the pursuit from Team Johnson. They just don't want to let him get anything going. But yeah, they need some good defense. So if you gauntlet out, good defense, and get the power up 30 seconds.
Gauntlet, unfortunately, really didn't have any chance to set up their defenses as the guys from Johnson were keeping the pressure on as soon as they threw their Soul onto the point. So seconds later, we were able to see Johnson take it away, and now they're about to run it back over here into the church to cap it. But it's the same story here. They have to be careful. They probably actually don't want to cap it in its immediate form, because that'll just lead to it probably getting stolen a couple seconds later. So they don't have great positions to defend themselves. They don't really have the ability to sit back and defend it, and we saw an example of that right there. Shadow Master moving out, just dominating the entire team of Johnson, as unfortunately they were all too heavily injured to continue fighting on their own point. So they had to fall back, give the Soul back over to their opponents, and now it's going to sit in kind of neutral territory.
Yeah, big power up right now with everything in the balance. Oh, this is good for Team Johnson. They're probably going to get the steal here and go back with the quad.
Still have to deal with that quad though on the defense of this one. For Clamp, well, he's going to be rolling around, knocking out players left and right. They've got that Soul, they're transitioning it, but oh, he misses. They're paying attention there, so Shadow Master's going to be able to move in. He steals the quad. The Soul does get captured back into point A for Team Johnson. However, Shadow Master is trying to do as much as he can while he still has this quad. He's only got a couple seconds left on it. The Soul getting stolen away, but as we see there, he tries to support a teammate. Unfortunately, is not really able to keep his teammate alive for that long, so it just ends up getting tossed away. Doesn't have the quad anymore. He's low HP. He does not want to be the guy to go in and pick up the Soul. Carnage with a nice save there. Him and Clamp were able to do massive damage, knocking out, I think, the entire roster from WhenInDoubt.
Yeah, a little great individual effort from Shadow Master, aka KGB there. I mean, he got Clamp from behind, stole the quad, really pushed in the area, but he didn't have a whole lot of team support as his team kind of got wiped out by Team Johnson, and he was there all by himself.
Now we can see some of these guys, specifically for Team Johnson, they are struggling to make sure they have a good stack on themselves here, just in terms of the weapon power and whatnot. So a lot of those guys are working with just, basic SMGs, and that became a problem again for the next upcoming fight. WhenInDoubt, we're given plenty of time to upgrade themselves, get all the major pickups, and now they've stolen the Soul again. again, at the moment though, it's not looking they're going to get very far. But 3 out of the 4 last kills have been at the hands of Team Johnson. They'll throw it back up right outside of their point. They need to complete the run, though the problem is Necrophagus is going to be in the way. He completes the reversal, intercepts the soul, and is now running very quickly back over towards point A. But there's going to be more players here waiting for it. No one has been able to get a really clean run just yet. Necrophagus is trying to survive. He has Sane to help him out there. Him and Necrophagus both picking up kills. And I think finally we can safely say that Johnson actually has security on their point.
Yeah, and you can see the combat ability of Team Johnson. All the individual talent of their team seems to be causing, when in doubt, a little bit of a problem.
Necrophagus unfortunately doesn't realize that KGB jumped up behind him and was able to get onto that point, so now they're going to be able to overwhelm this power-up, and there's no one even here now from the side of Team Johnson to contest it. They're going to get it for free. They wasted all their players, so Pyro now has it. He's got the Mega Hell too, pushing into this. Oh my goodness, Carnage! Beautiful play from him. It's unfortunate that he goes down a second later, but while doing that, he gets a massive amount of kills, and Sane comes in from above to save the day. After Carnage's impressive play happens there, we do indeed see Sane rallying the situation and making sure that Team Johnson holds on to that point.
What a heck of a play by Carnage. Just when we were just coming, they got the quad, they're ready to make a run. It seemed like they could maybe get some momentum, and then just a great play by Carnage just to take the wind right out of their sails. And Team Johnson looking strong, looking like they're ready to take round 1.
Carnage and Sane completely counter out what could have been a very easy push for the guys on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, but now they're so far behind, I don't even realistically see them coming back into this round. They're 93% versus 9%. This is going to be tough, even if they can steal it. The guys from Team Johnson have so much time to make up for that one. Necrophagus not even going to be daunted by the gauntlet there as he gets pushed right up in his face, holds on. KGB getting a few more kills, in fact 3 more kills, potentially a 4th in a second here. He gets it, wipes the entire team, but dies to the dot just a second later. His teammates are going to move in, complete the steal, and they're going to rally this thing off. Oh, Pyro misses it though, so he actually wastes a few seconds. However, KGB still doing some damage, but he can't stay alive. Necrophagus, Clamp, Sane, all taking down players across this map right now. The soul goes neutral, back into the hands of Team Johnson, and they've got a pretty clean path back to their obelisk.
Yeah, great pursuit again, Team Johnson, causing WhenInDoubtGauntletOut a lot of problems with their individual talent and team cohesion. You can just see the damage they're putting on them, and they secured this first round relatively cleanly.
Yeah, it was, at the end of the day, it turned out to be around 100% versus only 4 or 5% for their opponent there. So a bit unfortunate for the guys on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. They were unable to really continuously hold onto that soul, only capping into their obelisk really 1 or 2 times, and both of those times it was nearly immediately stolen back, as you could tell by the overall percentage that they had throughout that round. So a bit unfortunate. Hopefully they can rally themselves a bit better going into this next round, and also not have Carnage just completely destroy them with a single use of a Dire Orb.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for sure for When in Doubt, because you can just see the combat ability individually and causing them problems. They're losing these head-to-head matchups, and when that starts happening, it can mess with your confidence. You stop taking fights that maybe you would normally take, and you start playing on your back foot a little bit.
Well, Pyro is going to steal his opponent's soul point here now. It's sailing their obelisk away, but same as before, the soul itself is going to find it stolen relatively quickly. In fact, Napalm will drop it off, but he's going to have some problems staying alive here if he continues for too long in this situation. There you go. He's going to get knocked back out. KGB was able to trade a few players here, and venom's coming into the picture too to try and deal some damage, but he only has an SMG, and he's almost out of ammo for that too. Finally does end up going down. The soul's going to get stolen off the point, and I believe it's Carnage making the run right now.
Yeah, When in Doubt, at least they got off to a good start this time. Got a little bit with 14% to 0, but they can't let Team Johnson get any momentum like we saw last round. It's, once they get locked in, it's really tough, man. These guys are so good.
Soul still in the open right now, actually, as it finally completed its journey over there towards Obelisk B. Carnage still running interference towards the other side of the map, but they need to make sure that they're here ready to defend it, as unfortunately, same as before, they're only going to be able to channel about 5% before they steal it back, and are now on their way over towards the church to reclaim their Obelisk and start channeling it back up on their, towards their 100% here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They get it in, they knock out 2 or 3 players along the way, so Johnson really doesn't have a bid to try and push back in right now. They need to fall back, they need to regroup, they just don't have the numbers to get into this site. Yeah,
they should be really thinking about the power up in 15 seconds more than Soul, and use that to their advantage to change the momentum right now in this round.
Yeah, we can see like players like Pyro not just holding off the last few stragglers here, and now this is when When in Doubt is going to move out to start to get a little bit more aggressive. You can see that KGB, a few other players able to get a couple straggling kills, and now we have the power swarm come back in protection. It is looking like that players from the side of Team Johnson were able to get it initially, but they are still under pressure. They're still going to have to work a little bit to be able to hold on to this now. Eventually, though, we see a few players finally able to get out of that fight, pushing back an assault. It is going to be taken away here as it works its way over towards the other side of the map, supported, of course, by that protection.
Yeah, big on sacrifices. It's very influential, probably more so than the quad, because the quad's a little easier to gang up on and take down. But when somebody has a protection, it's just devastating. It's really hard to bring that character down.
Clamp with a nice charge, and Shadow Master coming back in. KGB come back in, and venOm too doing some serious work with the nail gun right now. In fact, he just picked up a double kill, transitioning it over to a third kill as he switched to the shotgun. So he's going to be able to take that soul, run it to the other side all on his own. KGB is single-handedly keeping his team in this game right now with his impressive play.
Yeah, his lightning gun is definitely on point. We've seen it several times, taking out 2, maybe 3 guys at a time. Even in the last map round when they lost, he put in a great individual effort, almost kind of stole that soul. So you see him really pressing hard right now and putting in some good work, but he needs some help.
Well, the victory from KGB was a little bit short-lived here now, as the rest of Team Johnson was able to steal away the soul. They've got it back in their elbows. They still have a little bit of makeup work to do, as they're about 30% behind their opponents. Clamp is going to be overwhelmed in a second. No! Holds on for one more kill before going down to the man himself, KGB. Knocking him out. Now the clutch over here from the side of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut is going to be able to steal that soul, and he's long gone. Making a run back into the church to reclaim the soul.
Again, great work. KGB kind of clearing things out for his teammates. They're doing a good job here. You know, they got off the skate. Last time Team Johnson got off the skate. And it seems to be turning the tide a little bit. They're having a little better time defending this time.
Pierow now trying to intercept the soul, which has once again been stolen off of their point. Trying to figure out where exactly it went. Necrophage just took the direct route right over past the power-up spawn, over the rocket bridge, and directly over to the point. So he's going to take that same exact problem as before. That they don't have anyone here to defend it. All their other players are still busy fighting for the power-up spawn that's going to be coming up in 5 seconds here. That weren't the exact circumstances last time, but here's the problem. Because they had to split their players, they weren't able to fight for the power-up. However, look at this from carnage. He poured it in, was able to steal the power-up right out of the hands of the players from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, and now that's a huge victory, as his team, while they unfortunately lost the soul, they can push back in and reclaim it.
Yeah, if anything's going to turn right now, Carnage has gotten both power-ups so far in this game. Could really turn things around for his team. They're a little behind right now. I'm sure they're not happy about that, so this is a big chance for them to turn everything around right now.
Yeah, there we go. They got the sword like that. I think it's going to be taking the soul for him. Carnage still just trying to run support, essentially, is being able to deal the damage without attracting too much attention to himself. The soul only makes it about halfway, though, before being reclaimed by a member of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. Napalm, nicely done. Doesn't over-aggress, doesn't push too heavily forward. Falls back, makes sure he has his teammates with him before he heads back over towards the obelisk itself. They're correcting that same mistake that we're seeing Johnson make time and time again, but they're happy to just continuously run the soul back to their obelisk without having to worry about it immediately being recaptured. The guys on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, they're taking it a lot slower. They're waiting for their teammates to group up, make sure that they can retake their own obelisk before they're recaptured so it doesn't immediately get stolen away. That's what keeps happening to Team Johnson, and that's why they're behind in this round.
Yeah, you got to give WhenInDoubt a lot of credit, showing a lot of moxie right now and discipline to come back, especially after that first round. You know, really got their heads in the game, giving Team Johnson all they can handle right now. It's a big turnaround, big confidence boost for this team. I would imagine if they can close this round out.
Well, venOm pushing back in here now, trying to hold off and defend things. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to stop the soul from being reclaimed, but he can do massive damage. KGB again, look at that, a triple kill from him, all with the LG as well. He does it with the nail gun, he does it with the LG, he does it with the shotgun. This man cannot be stopped.
Yeah, his lightning gun again. You see Carnage tried to rocket jump get away, just got lined up by KGB, aka Shadow Master 666.
Clamp, unfortunately, a teammate missed a toss to him, so he had to try and charge out of there, but was unsuccessful in doing it. Missed the handoff to his teammate, too, so the soul's gone back and forth. Sane thankfully reclaimed it, but look, there's everyone else from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. They're immediately on the other point, ready to steal it back again. Johnson has not found a counter to this, and this is the problem. They run it right into their sight. Sane, there's no way he's surviving that situation, and the timing of this aligns another power spawn. They may have the power, but they've lost the soul.
Yeah, they need to do a little bit better job of team communication there. We've seen other teams, you know, hold their soul carry in certain areas, wait for the group to really clear out the zone for them. Maybe getting a little too antsy, like you said, just pushing it in, and I don't know. They got to do a better job there.
All right, well, finally they got a slightly clean cap off here. There's not a players immediately trying to steal it back, but they are close by. They were able to speed up the cap speed this time, so they didn't have to worry too much about there being players immediately on the point. And thankfully, the soul itself was a little bit in the balance. But again, they knock out 1 or 2 players. There's no one left. And oh, great catch from Pierow. Unfortunately, he gets knocked out as he's sitting right in the belly of the beast. But if that had worked, that would have been beautiful to see transition into a cap.
Yeah, that was a very actually entertaining exchange. There was a great catch by Pyro, only to eat the shotgun from below. It's just very, very cool to watch.
Carnage is a monster with these telefrags coming out of the tire. We just got another one that time to steal the soul back. Losing it again, though, as it goes back into the hands of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. Pyro kind of getting assisted by his opponents. They're getting propelled forward by the LG. Pyro is still trying to hold on, but he does get swiped back in the last second. 3 kills coming out now from Team Johnson. It's going to let them steal it away again, but they're running out of time. If they cap it here, they need to make sure it remains consistent and that they don't immediately lose control over this power-up or soul capture. Yeah,
they can still turn this around for sure. Good defense, as you mentioned, and yeah, they can't afford any mistakes right now with WhenInDoubt at 89%. So the next power-up, absolutely critical, and good defense. I mean, the margin of error for them is very small right now.
There's Carnage doing some work in range here, just with the super machine gun, as he's able to do a little bit of work with that. Here comes KGB with that nail gun we saw him working before. Look at this massive damage being done by him. Steals the soul away, does have to jump into the process. He uses his ability there, tossing it out, but it goes right to the hands of one of his teammates. However, at that very second, another opponent is able to recapture it for the guys on Team Johnson, but that's not going to matter much if they keep letting KGB just unload all of this super nail gun action from the backside of the site.
Your team has the protection.
Oh, big pickup again. Team Johnson getting the protection. This is going to be huge. It's really going to help them defend if they can keep the protection healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pretty stacked too. This is going to be a problem. They're going to definitely probably catch up now right now, tie it up. It's going to get very interesting.
He charges right into Napalm there. Nicely done. They can actually use this pretty well to their ability. Clamp getting a little bit low, so he's going to be a bit more passive at a situation. But finally, like I said before, they figured out how to counter out this really aggressive strategy that we have been seeing from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut to push all 4 players constantly to the other site to always look to steal it as quickly as they can. Not really looking to ever fall back and strategize, but always having their players right in the front face to challenge that. Clamp, nicely done. Just body blocks his opponent. Not going to let him get away with that soul. And when he does, it goes right back inside of the obelisk. Anyone else is trying to challenge is going down. In a moment here, we're going to see them pass the percentage point of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut and start to take the lead.
Yeah, for the first time this round, they're going to take the lead, looks like. And what a turnaround, man. If you're going to point to anything for WhenInDoubt, I mean, they started really strong, giving up 3 protection power-ups. You know, it's such a close game. You gotta wonder.
Even going back to the last one, that was a problem too. They were exercising great control over the immediate area, but just so many clutch plays coming out from players like Carnage and whatnot that are making it difficult. However, the guys from WhenInDoubt still have a chance to recover as they had another great soul run back over to their side, but it was instantly stolen away by the guys from Team Johnson. They take it off the point. They're going to take it away, but another member of WhenInDoubt able to toss it back down. Didn't make it back inside of the obelisk, though. It's a big game of catch right now from the top and the bottom of this site. Down it goes again. Is there someone to capture it completely? It looks like they've got the clutch to do it for them, and indeed, that's going to go back inside. Pyro trying to hold up the rest of these offenders. Necrophage is still alive on the top side, but he's got to pull up a 1v2 if he wants to steal it away, and he's not going to be able to do it. KGB again takes him down, and now they're starting to channel up at 99%. They have to contest it. They're not doing it right now. They've got maybe 1 or 2 people left on that site to try and stop it. And finally, the soul does get taken outside, but he's not going to get very far. Carnage immediately goes down. Pyro takes it back. There's 1 or 2 players dancing around the top of the obelisk, actually. I didn't even know you could stand up there, but apparently you can. Still, Clamp battling it back a little bit. He's the last bastion of hope in this current run. I don't think there's anyone left close enough that can challenge it. Now, no, I'm wrong about that. Carnage jumps in. Is there anyone else that can get on top of it in time? Napalm body blocking, trying to keep them off of the point. They can't do it, though. It's still ticking in their favor. And finally, we will see the round end in the favor of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut as they tie it up at 1-1.
What a confidence builder for that team, especially after the first, the way the first round went. Really turned it around. Even though, you know, Team Johnson, they had all those power-ups, and you had several protections there, and still was not able to get the win. If you're WhenInDoubt right now, you got to be thinking confidence-wise, we can beat these guys. We can. That's what I'd be telling my team. We can beat these guys. A little more control on these power-ups, and this map is ours.
Well, Carnage starting things off here nicely with a great kill to take control of the LG room. That's going to give him great leverage over control to try and get the initial soul spawn. Unfortunately, he goes down seconds later to KGB, who's really been the all-star of this match so far. Even though his team hasn't been doing the greatest, at least in that first round. They came back brilliantly on the second round. It was all due to his efforts. He goes for the quickest cap he can find, and it's going to be over here at Obelisk B. And they'll change it up a little bit now for this upcoming round.
Another good start for WhenInDoubt. Things have turned around a little bit here. I'm wondering if Team Johnson maybe feeling a little pressure right now.
as KGB again tries to challenge the offending players from Team Johnson. They aren't actually going to get a pretty clean steal. Carnage trying to run away, though, is currently on his own. He's not have a whole lot of support. He's got a long way to go still, including a player sitting right in front of him with the gauntlet out. He does try to inject to get a little bit closer with that gauntlet. Doesn't work out. And just before Carnage goes down, he gets the cap. However, players are going down left and right for the side of Team Johnson, so stealing this soul back is not going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, again, as you mentioned earlier, when in doubt, just had somebody kind of camping back at their side, Team Johnson side, waiting to just steal right away.
Hold on now. Nicely done on the defense, actually. I was amazed that they were able to keep this under their control here. I would have thought for sure when in doubt would have stolen it by this point. They've got KGB to worry about, though, and he's been a huge player for these teams. For this team, however, Necrophage is going to completely deny his attempt to steal away that soul. And for now, Team Johnson will control the soul. Yeah, big turnaround for Johnson, starting out 12, down 12%. So now they've really turned this around. They've got a nice lead going into the next power-up spawn. So as long as, even though when in doubt, he's trying to make a run here with the soul, it's all about this next power-up. It really is. Carnage doing a nice job of holding off the opposing players that are pushing back in. He's left the soul down on the ground in the open. Still trying to look for a couple more kills, however, as we do see the soul being left down below at the bottom of the pillar room with the power-up spawn coming in just about 3 seconds here. Clamp trying to keep the clutch away from it, but unfortunately he's going to go down as a result of it. Sane, though, he does buy enough time with a direct rocket. You can see that damage there. 400 on the rocket, so he's got the quad. Fortunately, that soul is in the open right now on its way back over to Obelisk B, so he needs to use this quad to get up in his opponent's face and take that back. Yeah, you really want to make the most of the squad if you're Team Johnson. Nice play by Sane there, coming in from behind. Looks like he's going to go for the cap here, and with quads, it's very difficult for When in Doubt to take him down. Yeah, and he gets a nice clean run to that one. Unfortunately, quite a few of the members from When in Doubt are still pretty far away. They're still waiting for 1 or 2 respawns to come back out onto the board here, and I think they're going to try to push this as a big group again. And we can see them kind of forming up around the Mega Health spawn now. Yeah, I think if they're Johnson, though, they're finally getting a little of that swagger back, starting to build some momentum here. They just need some strong defense and close this team out. That's what they were thinking. This is their map. They were bragging earlier, they never lost a match so far on Sacrifice in this map. You don't want to drop your best map, man, and give the team. I would have already imagined, when in doubt, the confidence has got to be growing here. The individual 1v1s did not actually work out too well for the guys on Team Johnson. venOm trying to pop off the dual-wielded rockets there. That doesn't pan out well. So for now, Johnson's going to be able to get the soul, but it's absolute chaos inside of the shotgun room right now. Neither team can hold on to it. They're constantly respawning and just throwing themselves right at the soul without having time to go and pick up any real weapons. So a lot of them are just working with SMGs. You can see how many SMG kills are coming out along with rocket kills now. And Sane was able to go back up onto the rocket bridge, get control of that back. Obelisk B does go into the control. Look at that. Nicely done. Pyro sneaking in, getting a little bit of humiliation done against one of the members of Team Johnson there. But at the end of the day, they still steal it away. And Necrophage is going to be able to start making the run back over into the church. He's got to be careful, though. This player's hot as tail, so he's got to be ready to spin around real quick and defend this. Yeah, nice steal there by Necrophage. Just looking like Johnson settling in. If they can get this next power up again, though, when in doubt, having somebody back at their obelisk, looks like, are they going to get this steal again? It looks like Carnage was able to go in there and save that from being stolen here, but a power about to spawn. There's really no one here. venOm and one more player over here from the side of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut are going to take it. Oh, the initial protection pickup does go down there, so there's a chance for Team Johnson to steal it. Kills happening left and right. That's exactly what will happen. Johnson's going to take it away. They're going to run with it, but nicely done from KGB. He gets the teleport kill, moves in there, takes down Necrophage just immediately after. Now he's got that protection, and he can easily run this soul back. Wow, how many times, man, KGB has been pulling out some highlights in this game. Seriously, came in with the slipgate frag on one, finished out the protection with the lightning gun, and just now he's running with it. He's stacked, he's got protection. Hopefully they can get the soul here and make a run of their own. I mean, wow, Team Johnson, you gotta look out here. Getting revenge from what happened in round 1 when Carnage did a very similar thing there, stealing the power up away. Didn't actually kill anyone with it, but he did manage to pour it in and to teleport directly on top of the spawn at perfect timing too. So props to them for doing that earlier. But now, props to his opponent over here, KGB, for pulling off just as impressive of a feat. Pyro trying to stop the steal from happening there as we do see the soul being run in the hands of Sane. He's surrounded though, tries to toss the soul away, but it only bounces off the shield of the opponent's clutch. Pyro is now coming back, and it's on its way into the hallway over towards B Obelisk. Yeah, man, I am really impressed with When in Doubt's determination right now. It was easy, that first round really didn't go their way. They came back in round 2, fought hard, got the win. They really are pushing the limits of Team Johnson right now. I mean, it's a good D, get a 6-minute power up. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you put Team Johnson in a hole. Yeah, so At the moment, no one controls an obelisk at this point as the soul is in between. Currently, Team Johnson is attempting to run it over towards their side. But as we see before, it's gone back and forth plenty of times. And it's so unfortunate for Team Johnson. Looked like it was just inches away from being captured here now. And they finally do get it inside of their obelisk. They're going to be able to continue channeling up a little bit. They've got immediate pressure being pushed back in for the guys on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. They still hold the lead. So as long as they can continue to hold this here and inch further and further away from their opponent's score, they're in okay shape.
Nice slipgate frag by Carnage there. Clutch popped the shield on the obelisk, and he just came in with the slipgate and took him out.
We have a power spawn coming in, but currently there's nobody on top of it. Oh, at the last second, Clamp charging through to get that quad. Beautifully done. Gets a second kill immediately afterwards off of the machine gun. So there we go. Johnson gets another power up, and this could be the one that defines the game.
Yeah, great charge by Clamp. Get off the railroad tracks. Scale Bearer coming through.
And Clamp is just going to rip these players to shreds. Has the LG, has got the high ground. He's got no pressure against him from the other side. They're already pushing around very, very close to 100% here. And in a moment, they're going to be seeing those last couple stragglers from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut trying to move into contested, but they're not even going to get close. It's a full channel, and it's Team Johnson to take round 3 and take this first map 2-1.
Yeah, well fought, though, by WhenInDoubt. Even though they went down, you know, Johnson got the win right there. You got to think, if I'm WhenInDoubt, think, hey, that's their best map. That's the one they're most confident on. We almost had those guys. Let's go on the map 2 and let's try to get this to the, you know, the third map. So I think WhenInDoubt could build off that, get a little confidence. But hey, congratulations to Team Johnson. In the end, it's all about winning. It doesn't matter how close. A win is a win, as they say, you know.
By all means, that was still a really good map for WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. Specifically, I mean, let's just talk about KGB for a second.
Woo. I mean, yeah.
Let's go over some of the things that he did over the course of that map, just on his own.
Yeah, he really was going off with the lightning gun. Really did some clutch plays for his team. Was just clawing his team back, and it seemed like he was just determined to make something happen in that game for his team. Mad props to KGB. He's showing the skills in that game. Even though they came up a little bit short, you could tell he was bringing it.
It very much seemed like it was the KGB versus Carnage show a lot of the time there. Just seeing who could get the most slipgate frags, as we had plenty of those happening as well. Carnage with the very, very clutch slipgate to go and actually steal away one of the protections towards the end of round 1, let them win that round. Round 2, we saw it wasn't round 3 where we saw KGBs that he actually moved in, teleported inside of an opponent, killed him with it, and stole the power up in the process. That was very cool too. And we saw another one as well from Clamp towards the end of round 3 on a scale bearer, where he actually charged straight through into the spawn of the power up, took down a guy in the process, and then killed like 3 more guys later. Yeah, that was a great play by Clamp. Very solid. It's a standard strategy to use on that map with scale bearer, to charge through the teleport at time, and he timed it perfectly. And just to go back to KGB a little bit, you know, not just slipgate frags. How many times did we look up in the, you know, the frag list on the top left and just see his name popping up? Lightning gun kill, lightning gun kill, lightning gun. It's like, geez, he just took out 3 guys in an instant. It was impressive. Well, moving on to our second map here now, as you can still see the picks below. That was the pick from Team Johnson, so we did expect them to be able to win that map. But now we go over to WhenInDoubtGauntletOut's pick, and that's going to be over on Burial Chamber. A much more open map, a lot more room for specifically rail frags to come back out, as we weren't actually seeing a whole lot of railing. It was mainly a lot of like LG, specifically because of how quickly people tended to go down. I don't think anyone really had a great ability to kind of build up like a massive weapon stack or anything like that. I don't think you're going to see that as much here. I think deaths are going to be a little bit less common of an occurrence on this map because of how widespread it is. Players have a little bit more room to maneuver and more specifically escape some of these situations too. And one of the things, talking with Team Johnson, you know, we saw them play Team Liquid earlier, and they really got trounced on Burial Chamber. Liquid really took it out of them, and it makes me wonder, how do they respond now? So we're going to Burial Chamber. Obviously, they didn't perform that great earlier on the map. So, you know, when in doubt, I wonder if they saw that, you know, Team Liquid, hey, you know, look, Team Johnson looked a little sketchy, you know, maybe a little, you know, I don't know, but we'll see right now. I think Team Johnson got to keep their head in the game. They can't take this team for granted, that's for sure. When in doubt's bringing the pain right now. And we can see the players there getting ready now, discussing things as we just get everyone added back into the lobby. Sane having fun with his hand warmer.
Got to keep him warm.
Yeah. I imagine especially for Quake players too. It's a very big thing.
Yeah, you know me, I can't let my, you know, I'm getting that age now, arthritis to be setting in, you know, I can't let my hand get too cold, you know, it's not good.
Yeah. So, well, all right, guys. Again, like we said before, we should be getting started with our second map here on Burial Chamber in just a second, with Team Johnson now claiming that first map. If they're able to follow through and steal their opponent's map pick win, then they're going to be heading straight forward on the QuakeCon with a 2-0 win here at the very edge of the lower bracket, and they'll knock WhenInDoubtGauntletOut out of this bracket and on to their journey home, unfortunately. But if they can strike back, if they can take this second map, we'll go to a third and final map to decide who is going to be taking this slot at QuakeCon.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Johnson responds on Burial Chamber. And even talking to them, you know, in private, they were even admitting that, you know, Burial Chamber causes them some issues. They can't figure it out. They said they don't know if it's just maybe the play styles don't mesh with the map too well. Something's causing them some issues, they said. So they're going to have to overcome that issue now and get the win to move on to QuakeCon.
All right, well, we're loading into the map now. We've completed the selection. We'll have to see if the comps get changed up at all here. Both teams are running with a pretty standard composition, and it looks like that's going to stay the same. Actually, you will note now, you guys will see it in game, of course, no clutch for either team.
Yeah, we're seeing a little meta shift here. You know, we recently had a patch, there's been some changes, and just like with any changes to balancing, there's always that feel out process to figure out, you know, what's best, what works best, all that stuff. So definitely making a change. And then maybe they're taking a page out of, you know, we saw Team Liquid make this change earlier, so it's always good to gather data from other teams too. You don't have to figure out everything on your own. It's good to see other people test things out, and you're like, hey, you know what, that was a pretty good idea, why don't we give it a shot?
And I mean, it's interesting to see that because of how commonly we've just seen clutch played out today, and how useful that shield tends to be. Just the ability to kind of really hop onto a point. As long as there's not too many players there, you can usually pop up the shield, kind of stand on the edge of an obelisk, and get a free steal out of that. At the very least, if you're going to die as soon as the shield goes down, you can still just chuck the soul away before you go down, and hopefully your teammate's there to catch it.
Yeah, and I think we've been noticing too with clutch, it seems like Ranger has a target all over clutch just for the slip gate.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, there's a clutch. Oh, shield, I'm gonna throw my slip gate right.
Knock this out right quick.
Yeah, just, that's done. Yeah, so I think people have been seeing this, and maybe because in a LAN environment, you know, pings are low, it's getting easier to land some of these hit scan weapons like the nail gun and timing things. So maybe it's just causing those bigger channels to be a little problems right now.
All right, let's jump into it, folks. Let's take a look and see if Team Johnson can keep it consistent, winning out here now on Burial Chamber, or if it's going to be When in Doubt. Take it over to a third and final map. Pyro starting off with some speed and some kills, too. He's got one. He's looking for that second one. He got it. Shadow Master, otherwise known as KGB, able to pick one up, too. So a lot of kills happening for When in Doubt early on here. So it's no surprise that they are able to get control of the initial soul pickup and get their choice of an obelisk.
Good start for When in Doubt. Obelisk A, definitely a good defendable point. So if you're Team Johnson right now, you got to be kind of questioning what's going on here, guys. You know, that last map was a little too close for comfort, and you know, I would hope for a better start here if I'm on their team. Yeah, I'd want a much better start here going to the second map.
Pyro just hanging on the outside here, looking to counter out Team Johnson when they do finally group back together and look to push back in. They're having problems just getting inside of that church, let alone actually stealing the soul away. We can see finally able to move it in. Nice shots from KGB coming in, a full 100 damage rocket to take down his opponent, but he's also going to fall down to Carnage. So is Napalm to Sane. So finally they've got what they need. They should be able to push back in, but Pyro denies the steal. Nicely done. Hops in, he's got that movement when it's needed on the Anarchy, and it saves the day, keeping that soul safely contained inside of their obelisk without, you know, even one steal happening yet.
Yeah, this is a heck of a start for When in Doubt. I mean, look, they're already up to 36, 37. I mean, it's just ticking up, and the power-up's going to be coming up in about 35 seconds. They defend this the whole way through. Pyro putting up some impressive work right now with the lightning gun, but they hold this out and get the power-up. I mean, this round's going to be over really fast if Team Johnson doesn't do something quick.
Pyro is a one-man defense machine right now. He's got some support coming in from his teammates, but every time someone tries to step on that obelisk point, he's able to move in and kill them within just seconds here. Beautiful stuff that we're seeing from Pyro. We've got that power-up spawning, so we have to see who is going to be getting control of it in about 10 seconds when it does come back out. We've seen some very interesting plays in order to get control of the car because it does spawn out in the open in the middle. Some players using the portal spawn, other players on a Nyx trying to port directly on top of it. Napalm may fall victim to that right here, and we do see one player trying to die roar. The Nyx, however, was able to use the stealth and got complete control over it. So Necrophagus is going to have that, and now they can finally use that along with their recent steal to get control of this obelisk over here towards B and finally start to channel up a bit and try to tie things up.
Yeah, big for Team Johnson. They really needed that big time because When in Doubt had a huge lead already. I mean, the first power-up spawn, you're already at 63%. You got to be feeling really, really good about yourself.
Well, venOm now stealing the quad away, actually, for WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. They took that power away. Believe that they're going to be able to keep it as another man picks it up after venOm goes down. Clamp trying to do some damage at range, but unsuccessful as KGB knocks him out. venOm helping out with that as well, as now he comes back into the spawn, and on the blue team, the guys from WhenInDoubt are attempting to make that run across the map, but carnage, he's going to stop him. He's got more players looking to contest against him, though, and he doesn't have a whole lot of health. A second player now choosing to jump into the fray here. They throw that soul way up high. Carnage getting a nice double kill. Clamp adding his prowess into that fight, too. And the soul, did it get tossed off? No, it looks like it's still in bounds here, but the problem is it's being tossed right on top of plenty of members over here from the side of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. But no, at the end of the day, Johnson's going to be able to cap it. Now they've got to try to defend it, as immediately Pyro is on the point, looking to steal it away. He's going to be brought down low. Nicely done from Sane. He intercepts it, is able to go back in, but at the end of the day, another blue pickup comes in. WhenInDoubt running away with that soul back over to their side. But they're going to be challenged again here. Carnage getting right up in their face. Clamp able to get 2 kills, but that does fall down to Napalm. And this is going to let the blue team continue their run as Napalm continues to run interference in mid.
Yeah, it looks like Team Johnson, even when they got it back to their obelisk, really struggling to keep WhenInDoubt off their defense. Could never really get settled into a strong defensive position. WhenInDoubt putting a lot of pressure on them. Gotta give credit right now.
It's stuck in between right now. Neither team has really been able to get great control over it. The soul kind of just continues to go back and forth with neither team really getting full capitalization on it. There's a lot of rails. As I was mentioning before, we're going to see a lot more railing happening on this map, and we've already seen examples of that. The original quad pickup got dropped due to a rail. The soul has been dropped multiple times due to a rail already. We have another power spawn coming in right now as these players are going to vie for control over that protection.
Yeah, huge protection. I love the protection and sacrifice. A little more quad can obviously be devastating, but something about that defensive security blanket of a protection really can change the tide here.
Clamp, you can see they're trying to use the gauntlet up close to whittle off the health on that protection a lot faster. They do the job. Napalm's going to be able to steal that protection away, and now they should be able to push back inside of Team Johnson's obelisk and start to steal away their soul.
Yeah, not a lot of time left on that protection. Hoping he can make a little something out of this. What shit is this? Yeah, looks like Team Johnson settling in on defense a little bit. Oh, looks like finally got a steal here for WhenInDoubt, but Johnson evening it up. They started out down 63%, so getting it back 45-63. WhenInDoubt has not got a single percentage point since that grade started.
It's been a struggle for the guys on WhenInDoubt just to get this soul, even halfway across the map. There's a lot of respawns that are getting in their way. Johnson continuously keeps dropping that soul, so the guys from WhenInDoubt are having trouble kind of rallying their players together to make one clean run to not only steal the soul, but get it across the map, too. There's not a great support system being set up amongst their players, so as you can see, the soul is now back under the control of Team Johnson over here in the lava pit. Nice shot from Necrophage just coming back out there, kills one of the last defenders for the time being. Just a couple stragglers here now, which shouldn't really be able to make a whole lot of progress until the rest of those respawns roll in.
Yeah, Johnson, as I mentioned before, they couldn't really get into the defensive set, but now you can see they're really settled in. They're bunkered in now. They got some stack. So it's very interesting to see how WhenInDoubt somehow break that defense, and with the power up in another about 20 seconds, that's obviously going to be critical.
Sane wrapping around here. He did see the soul getting stolen away. He's trying to stop it from being picked back up, but nope, they escape with that soul. And they're on the run again, but more players from the side of Team Johnson are going to continue to run that interference just after Team Johnson took the lead. Napalm trying to run. There's those rails again. Necrophages from super long range. Knocks out a player. venOm beautifully done, though, just before Necro was about to steal the soul for himself. He moves in with a close-up rocket to knock him out of the running. And finally, another cap comes out for WhenInDoubt.
Yeah, big steal for WhenInDoubt, and they also got to secure the quad damage here. So yeah, right now this is big for them because the momentum really did switch into Team Johnson's favor. Now they got the steal, now they got the quad. They're thinking, hey, let's get round one and push this team, maybe get a win here.
Yeah, we've been going on for well over 6 minutes here now. Both teams really going back and forth on these hot streaks, and we have another one going here for Team WhenInDoubt. The quad sitting onto the ground right now. Napalm tries to scavenge it there. Carnage, he's just going to throw the soul off the map and reset its position. There's another rail dropping a quad. Nicely done. Our red Team Johnson, they managed to pick up the soul again, so they're going to complete that run. The real question is, though, is who managed to grab that quad? Is it just still be active for a few more seconds here? We did see the Knicks rolling in, trying to safely steal away that soul. It looks like it was unsuccessful, though. Pyro still doing a little bit of damage. It's venOm running interference from the backside of this site right now, trying to clear it out for his opponents. And there you go. Now his teammates are going to be able to move in, easily taking away that soul. They've got the dual wheel coming out. That's Clamp pushing forward. Unfortunately, failed to take down the Knicks, so he's going to go down just a second later. And the soul is going to get picked up as they continue to try and run it back over to the church.
Yeah, big skin down to the wire now, but Team Johnson can't let them get back. WhenInDoubt's really close to winning. Both teams are close to winning. Whoever really gets the next cap with some good defense is really going to pull away here. And then we got another power-up coming in about 35 seconds. that's probably going to be in play based on how the game's going.
Clam knew he wasn't going to win that fight, so he did toss the soul away. Necrophages now being able to scavenge it. They've got to complete the run. They've got to be careful. This new, oh, that was almost a telefrag happening again right there. That was just inches away. Thankfully, the collision kicked in for Necrophages, and he was not able to get taken down by that one, but that would have been beautiful if it did align. Now, the rest of the team, they proved up. They've got all 4 players here working together to defend it. A few of them do have to move out in a second to start scavenging for some extra ammo pickups. And not only that, too, but in 10 seconds, we have another power-up spawn.
Yeah, they can't ignore this power-up.
I think they are going to ignore it.
Yeah,
actually.
they got to be careful here, getting caught up in their defense. They need to remember this. It's about to spawn. Yeah, it looks like yeah, they're on it now.
Yeah,
oh,
at the last second, there's a nice port that moves back in, and they are able to take it away. Protection is under their control here, so they've got it going, and they're channeling pretty close up to 100%. So at the end of the day, they started up down over 60% of the way, and they've been able to bring it back. Necrophages has to hold, though. Hold on now. The soul got stolen away. Can they escape with it? Only gets a few feet outside. They do try to pour it up, but they missed the port. So Necrophages is going to be able to complete the recap. They contest it for a little bit longer, but that player has already been taken down. They're pushing up to 100%. There's no one left to contest it. So once again, Team Johnson takes control of round number 1.
Yeah, great play there at the end by Necrophages, man. That power-up was going to be huge. So using the Nyx's ability, Ghost Walk, you know, so nobody can see him, stood on the power-up, picked it up, you know, came out of Ghost Walk right when it came up, really, you know, put in at the critical moment when they really needed something to happen for them. You know, got to give it to Necrophages, man. He pulled out the win there for his team.
So that concludes round number 1, of course. And once again, it's Team Johnson starting off ahead. If they can take this next one, well, they're going to be able to complete the series 2-0 and move themselves into QuakeCon. This is when in doubt, GauntletOut's last chance to come back. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves eliminated. KGB, who's actually been a little bit more quiet so far in this map, opens up with some nice stuff. Double kill right at the beginning of it. venOm as well, getting a teleport frag against one of his opponents. And they're going to be able to get their run, this time taking it over to the church.
Yeah, nice little run, nice little start again for When in Doubt. Hopefully this time maybe they can close it. You know, last time they started so good, they got to. I would imagine they got to be a little disappointed. You know, they had such a big lead last time, but again, they got to have that confidence, thinking, you know, it's been so close, right? Why wouldn't you think we can take these guys? We just need to get a few more good plays in here.
Well, KGB trying to hold on to the defense there, but they're quick. And they're Johnson there as they steal it away. Nice enough for Carnage too. He is able to move in. But at the same time, Pyro doing a great job making up for these losses here. Sane's going to be able to cap it, but they're probably not going to be able to hold on to it for very long, because they have a lot of players moving in, trying to pull it back. Sane trying to hold on. He picks up 1, picks up 2. Nicely done from Sane. And that should be enough to hold on and get the respawns in. We still have a few more stragglers trying to push back in and steal this soul away. Sane trying to stay alive as well. He is going to run out of juice in a second here. And there we go. He finally goes down, but at the same time, Necrophages, Carnage getting back over here towards point B. Necrophages trying to hold on with the rails. He keeps missing them though, so his opponents are going to steal that soul, knock it off the point. He's over to the shotgun now to try to take out these players that were stealing the soul, and he's leaving it up to his teammates to retrieve that soul, which they'll do with flying colors.
Yeah, much better job. Wow, great work from Sane. Necrophages, hey, recognizing the raid. You know what? The rail's not working. He switched the shotgun here and put in some work. He's got the necessary kills he needed. Team Johnson evening it out. You know, at least they're not in such a 63% to 0 hole this time, so they got to be feeling a little better about the second round going into this first power-up.
KGB is trying to snipe out players at range. Unfortunately, he's not having the best of luck up there. I think he managed to take down Necrophage, but then was knocked out just a couple of seconds later here. But while all this combat was happening here, we did see that protection spawn coming back out. I do believe that the guys from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut currently have control over it, but we'll confirm that in a second here. Oh, nicely spotted by venOm. The last second rockets up there to get out of the way of the potential telefrag that was coming out from the Nyx. And Carnage as well. The quick switch over to the Gauntlet to push back in. As he does try to open a little bit more bargaining room for himself and the rest of his team to push back into the church and steal this soul out of the hands of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut.
Yeah, again, nice little turn here for When in Doubt. Secured the power up. You really used it to their full advantage on their defense, and now they got a nice little lead here. So lost. 46%, 20%. You know, Team Johnson again, kind of digging themselves a hole here. But you know, they've shown previously they got the talent, they got the ability. You know, they got the confidence they can come back. But you don't want to keep putting yourself in deficits like this.
And they were already able to come back from a huge deficit once there, so doing it for a second time is not going to be too much of a problem for them, as you can see them almost getting the recap back over the lava pit, but at the last second it gets stolen away again, so they're going to be able to run the soul back over to their side. Napalm holding on here. The nice duel coming back out. That's massive damage being done by Napalm and some of the others here as they try to make sure that they hold on to the soul. It goes back under their control. There's still some stragglers from the side of Team Johnson looking to contest them, but for the most part they've handled that now. Yeah,
great job though by When in Doubt, getting that. I mean, they really are giving Team Johnson all they can handle. I mean, again, coming out to an early lead, I mean, they got to be thinking, we just got to close this round down, get the power up in the next 30 seconds. They did a good job securing the first one. If they secure this next one, they're going to put themselves in a winning position.
venOm still looking to hold back over here towards the top. The Obelisk, and he has quite a few more players actually pushing in this time, so it's not going to be as easy to stop that from getting stolen away. Really not anything he can do to immediately prevent that, but what he can do is intercept the Obelisk toss, which is, or the Soul toss, which is exactly what he did there, and then threw it right back into the site. So nicely done by him. We do have a power-up spawn coming back here too. Both players trying to port back inside. I believe Team Johnson gets it initially here, but battling it back now. Napalm able to do some decent damage. 2 quick kills for him, and at the end of the day, it's KGB that controls it, which is going to be good news for WhenInDoubt.
Yeah, he's been really on top of his aim today. So yeah, if you want somebody to get the quad for them, it's definitely KGB. He's the hot hand right now.
Gonna get some rocket shots off there, not gonna be happening, but even with the gyro on the port, he's still going to be able to hold on to his own health pool there and making sure he continuously just denies any attempt at presence here from Team Johnson. Trying for those long-range rockets too. He's gonna be a little bit careful of flying from behind him, but thankfully the quad is almost expired at this point too, so it's not gonna be too big of a deal if an opponent is able to get control of that one. Well, the Soul will still get stolen away. They're gonna make a run out of this one. This is really their last chance to steal it though. They're still way down at 20%. Their opponents from WhenInDoubt are up at 96%, so if they recap that and they use too many of their own players in doing so, then, well, that's pretty much going to be the end of the round right there. And we're going to have to go to a round 3 to settle this match.
Yeah, Team Johnson can't afford to make any more errors right now with WhenInDoubt at 96%. So they need to make sure they get no captures, no percentage points, and secure probably the 6-minute and 8-minute power-up as well to come back in this game.
We are going to have that power spawning in just under a minute here, but it may, like I said before, become a little bit irrelevant. Close-up kills happening as venOm unfortunately overcommits himself just a little bit. Necrophage finds himself going down there. Napalm actually, excuse me, goes down 2 Necrophages. And for the rest of these players, the Soul getting tossed across the map. They're trying to send it closer to A. It was not intercepted by the opponents from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, so they're going to be able to continue pushing that. I don't believe it. There we go. There's the cap finally. Players are immediately trying to steal it away from Team Johnson's side, though, and they get it. So they toss it right outside of the site. Napalm running interference, though, can let his teammates go back and pick up the Soul, and they're going to throw it right back inside. A few stragglers left here from Team Johnson as they are trying to contest it, but it's not going to happen. So, WhenInDoubtGauntletOut will tie it up again and send us to round 3.
Very well done by WhenInDoubt. You know, they let that first round get away from them. I'm sure they felt that way. And they really turned it around in round 2 and closed the show that time. You know, they got a good start again, got a lead, but this time, you know, they didn't give up that lead. They stayed focused. Nice quad run there by KGB, putting in some solid work. And yeah, just good job overall, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, so after that now we'll get into our 3rd and final round and get to see here if Team Johnson can piece it back together. They started off slow in the first round and were able to bring it back. The second round, unfortunately, they never really got things going. And, it was WhenInDoubt all the way there. Look at this rocket work again from KGB, and this man is a master here at the team play aspect of things. He's knocking out so many guys left and right. The final players from Team Johnson are also going to be taken down by him. As you can see that there, he's getting a double kill medal and everything for that. But at the end of the day, it is going to be WhenInDoubtGauntletOut that takes the Soul and gets the church to cap again.
Yeah, great rocket work by KGB, aka Shadow Master 666. You can really see that Quake veteranship with the great placement of the rockets, even with the great LG work. And again, he has a strong Quake team play background. You can just see coming full circle right now for his team.
Yeah. Everyone from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut actually has pretty much free reign over control of the Soul right now here. So no contestation coming in from Team Johnson just yet. They are looking to group their players up before they attempt to make that push back in. So they got their guys together. Napalm, maybe a little bit of a greedy switch over to the Gauntlet there, and it's going to cost him his life at the hands of Clamp. Carnage getting another kill, but the trades are even. Both of the kills they got so far have been turning back out. Pyro immediately jumping back in as soon as they steal that Soul away. Doesn't even leave the point. So nicely played. And again, that's a reset for Team Johnson. They all have to fall back.
Yeah, and every single time here, WhenInDoubt has got Obelisk. You know, every time they're getting off to a good start, they're getting an Obelisk game 1. It's really putting Team Johnson in a weird position. I'm sure they would prefer to have Obelisk game, but you know, WhenInDoubt, to their credit, keeps getting that first Soul, gets to make the decision. They're really dictating kind of, in essence, they're kind of dictating the pace of this map pretty well.
venOm now pushing forward. He's doing a little bit of work here again to defend things. And look at this, they're almost at 50%. And we're only at about the first power-up spawn here, which is going to be coming in 10 seconds.
Eerily similar to the first round. You know, they had 63% by the time, you know, Team Johnson was able to steal anything. So I'm curious to see if Team Johnson has another one of those epic comebacks in them, or are we going to see a third map?
Power-up spawn coming back in. I do believe it was Team Johnson that was able to take it this time, and that is indeed the case. So they have that power-up. Now they have to use it. Carnage currently has it in his hands here, but he's so low. He needs to make sure he can get some health back or just put a teammate next to him. Yeah, that's smart. What they do is they do die, but did they actually get it back, or did someone else from the other team steal it away? They got it. Necrophage just picks it back up there. So he's going to be pushing back in, acting as support for his teammates. He'll take down Napalm finally. More players running interference, though. He still has the quad. That soul goes onto the ground, however, as they are attempting to run it back over across the map, but it gets dropped about halfway there in the underpits. Necrophages still that quad for a moment, and he moves in to pick up one more kill before actually finally losing the soul again. Goes back and forth. No one is able to hold on to it, unfortunately. venOm trying to chase the soul carry, but it might not even make it there. Sane now picks it up, uses the ejection to complete the run, and finally, there we go. After 72% channeled for their opponents on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, we do indeed see Team Johnson getting a cap.
Maybe they just want to make it exciting for all of us here watching. I mean, Jesus, they're really digging themselves in early. I mean, that is a huge hole to overcome. I mean, you could be as talented. I wouldn't want to be down 72%. I mean, no team. I don't care how talented you are. That is a huge deficit to dig out of. So their margin of error right now is so slim.
Well, Shadow Master KGB along with one other player, they're able to move in and take the soul away. They missed the toss though, and ooh, nice shot from Sane. Unfortunately, it's not going to mean much in the long scheme of things. venOm immediately knocks out Sane. A couple seconds later, Carnage with a trade across the map. They are not going to be able to run immediate interference here. We do the deal one coming back out from, I believe that's Necrophagus, and indeed, he's able to bust out one shot. Sane getting another one there too. Pyro holds on at the very least, keeps that soul neutral, keeps it on the ground with no one having control over here. Necrophagus moves in, picks it up first. He's got close combat though, and he's going to toss that away. He knows he's in a risky spot. The soul, oh, it actually falls off the map. So they're going to have to try and go back and get it back, but they do retrieve it just before it goes away and bounces down out of bounds there. So Sane's got it now. He's got to make a run. He can't get hit by anything though. He's only at 25 HP. Thankfully, gets over to the site. He's got the cap, but he's very far away from the rest of his opponents as well. We've got that power spawn coming in, and Necrophagus. Look at that on the kill feed right there. Not only did he just get a double kill on a portal, he also managed to kill a player with a gauntlet. Beautifully done by Necrophagus.
Yeah, and securing the quad for a team, although it's in the bounce, looks like he died afterwards. Seriously, 2 slipgate frags for 1 slipgate, 2 frags, and then a gauntlet. I mean, that's a highlight if I've ever heard of one.
So now, Shadow Master trying to move back in KGB, that he's stolen away the quad damage here. He's going to use this to be able to steal the soul, getting it off the point. His opponent's channel 40%, but oh, he just dropped the soul and the quad as well. That goes back into the control of, I believe, Team Johnson right now. No, excuse me. The guys from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut did manage to pick the soul up, along with that quad back. So they're going to be able to run it. They complete the run back over to Obelisk, and they're starting to channel back up towards 100% again. Yeah,
looking really strong in this map, pushing Team Johnson to their limits. Again, Johnson mounting a bit of a comeback here, but he started with such a huge deficit. You know, it's going to be really tough, but they are battling back. They're up to 39%, so it's possible, certainly possible. But they get, man, you got to give credit to WhenInDoubtGauntletOut though, and they're putting in work. And KGB especially seems to be just starring for them right now.
Well, a few more players continuing to trade out blows here. Neither one seeming to get a great amount of control over things, but that doesn't matter for WhenInDoubtGauntletOut because they have the soul under their control as long as they don't let it get stolen, which is going to happen right there. Pyro trying to get right up in the face of the player that did steal it, though. That's Carnage. He doesn't make it very far with it, but what he does do is he tosses it off the map. Pyro, well, that's unfortunate. He kills himself. And for the rest of the guys over here from Team Johnson now, they are going to be able to use that middle spawn to be able to get the soul back. Sane, though, is caught just sitting down below. I believe was waiting for his teammates so he could safely push up to the obelisk, but in the process, just got completely overwhelmed by the players from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. So Pyro gets the soul back, recaps it in the church, and now they're 5% away from a map 2 victory and sending this on to map 3.
Yeah, this is great work from WhenInDoubt. I really love the turnaround because Team Johnson was pretty dominant, you know, in that first map. So to see these guys come back, it shows a lot of moxie, a lot of confidence. Way to get it done. I mean, I'm impressed. It really is hard to bounce back. I'm trying to explain, you know, the psychology. It's hard to bounce back from losses like that. You know, your confidence gets down, but man, they stuck with it. KGB going off sometimes and forcing a third map with Team Johnson. Wow.
venOm, and I mean, look at this. Look at the frag totals. We have 3 players that went over 50 frags in this game alone here, so very great stuff from him. The highest total count we had on the side of Team Johnson was Sane, or excuse me, was Necrophagus sitting at 50 kills. He had some good moments himself there too, like the triple kill that he got with the portal and then using the gauntlet to pick up a 3rd kill there like that. We didn't actually get to see that on the stream, but still, like the things that he could pull, the fact that he could pull off things like that is very impressive in its own regard. But beyond that though, a lot of the other players that we were seeing in map number 1 from the side of Team Johnson, we really didn't see them have repeat performances going into this second map, so they weren't able to just straight up cut this out in a 2-0 fashion. They did end up trading 1-1 now as they've allowed WhenInDoubtGauntletOut to take a second map, and that means that we're going over to our 3rd and final map, which is going to be on the ruins of Sarna.
Wow, I'm really a little shocked actually, because I thought Team Johnson would power through when in doubt. I think Team Johnson looked really good earlier. They had a tough loss to Liquid, but credit to when in doubt. I mean, really, even looking at the frags, when we look at the scoreboard there, Shadow Master with 56 frags in the last game to lead both teams, and I believe only like 40 deaths or something like that. So he had a nice ratio as well, really helping his team out. I would really like to. He had his Wheaties this morning, man. This guy's hot. He's ready to go. So at first, I mean, Johnson is obviously still the favorite. We talked a lot about their players and their dual background and their Quake background, but when in doubt, bringing it right now, not making it easy for Team Johnson.
It was a good thing that we saw KGB kind of coming back into the fray too, because he was a little bit quiet in the first round. We really didn't see a whole lot from him. It was after the first round, however, that we really see him come alive again in the same way that he was doing some really heroic stuff back on map number 1 over on Blood Covenant, and was able to carry that into rounds 2 and 3, where his team really was able to shine and then just completely shut down Team Johnson for the most part there.
Yeah, I think his teammates, if they pull this out, I think they all should take KGB out for some beers today and make sure that he or buy him dinner, steak dinner or something, because he's putting in work for him.
Yeah. Well, we've got everyone back in the lobby, guys, so it's just up to getting this match started and jumping into it, getting the players loaded in and completing the warp. And as soon as we've done that, we're going to be good to start off with this third and final map and get to see, of course, once again, if it will be Team Johnson. I think it's safe to say they're the fan favorite at home. Obviously having a big fan base behind Carnage himself and a few of the others, the good bunch of guys, the good group of friends working together, or is it going to be the other side? Are we going to see When in Doubt Gauntlet Out take it home today?
Well, there's something to be said about upsets. It's always exciting, and I know there are a lot of, Team Johnson and Carnage fans out there, but at the same time, that's one of the things about being the favorite. It puts a lot of pressure on you. I mean, everybody expects you to perform. The pressure's on you. So that the guy coming to make the upset, in this case, when in doubt, is the team looking. None of the pressure's on them, right? All the pressure's on Team Johnson to perform right now. It really is, because everybody's expecting them to win, and that puts a little extra pressure on you. When in doubt's playing a little loose, a little free right now, and it seemed to benefit them in that second map.
All right, guys, well, we're just having the players pick their champions again, and we'll see if there's going to be any change-ups at all. You'll note that we did change from map number 1, as we had a clutch on Blood Covenant, but that went away going into map number 2, as everybody had a pretty standardized lineup. Everybody's kind of playing to their own strengths. We didn't have any team-specialized roles like that coming in. No big like scale bears or anything like that. It was all very middle-of-the-line characters that they were picking back on the Burial Chamber. Now we'll have to see if they go back to any of that, and indeed they have. We immediately see those change-ups. We now see the Sorlag along with the Scale Bearer coming back in on both teams, actually. So they have identical compositions.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, maybe searching for a little magic. I mentioned how Team Johnson struggled on Burial Chamber earlier, so maybe they're changing up some champions, trying to find a little better cohesion, to get something going on that map for them. But obviously back to their standard lineup for this map.
I think overall, with like the pathing and the way that things tend to work out on Burial Chamber as well, things like Scale Bearer don't tend to be as great of a choice. But this map, which has a few more like straight paths you can take between the obelisks themselves, Scale Bearer tends to be a bit of a better choice, because you can have like your really good chargers that you use to get between the obelisks really quickly and other things like that. And the Sorlag as well, I imagine, is going to be useful just to get onto that point, because it is a much closer knit map. Everything's not going to be as spread out as it is on Burial Chamber. Yeah,
absolutely, I agree with that. Burial Chamber is wide open, so charging down the middle of the path with all these angles to shoot at a Scale Bearer isn't that great. Like you said, not a whole lot of avenues to really utilize the charge, but here there is plenty of spots to do.
Well, again, guys, we are just getting those players set up, and then we will be good to jump into that third map. You'll note we still have one more match to go later today as well. We still have 2 more slots to figure out, including this one, of course. So after this one, we'll have 1 more match to showcase for you guys to decide our final slot at QuakeCon.
Yeah, we got Top Gun versus iTotem Tellies after this, to see who gets to go to the big show. It's always exciting, One of the things I love talking to the players, on time, as we saw, made it earlier with a great win over Top Gun, and just seeing the reaction of the players, it kind of brings back memories as a media player, seeing those emotions. It's like so many mixed emotions when you qualify for a big tournament like this and you get into the big stage. It's relief, from all the hard work. Oh, I made it, but at the same time, it's joy. You're so excited, a lot going on, and seeing all the reactions from the players, how excited they are, how passionate they are. It's really good.
All right, guys, well, we are going to send it over to a video really quickly talking about the history of Quake. Let's send it over there while we're waiting for this next map to get started.
The original Quake was the very first game that allowed dedicated independent servers to exist that people could connect into. That was something very new. What it did is it allowed people to have one place that they could go to compete. What we found is that players would go to the same servers, play against the same people, teams started to form, clans started to form. We planned none of this. And because Quake by itself is very skill-based, it takes a lot of dexterity to play it, it did lend itself well to who is the best Quake player, who has the best skill, who could beat the top guy in the US or the top guy in Europe.
I was a player in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Going from, state to state, country to country, you saw how much passion there was, how much fun people were having playing and spectating. Something was happening here.
Competitive gaming back in 1996 wasn't really a thing. So we were just excited that people were playing Quake together. And even QuakeCon, which was a convention started by our fans to see who the best Quake player was. We were really excited by this.
You would see a line out the door of people trying to get in, and everyone would be holding their giant computers and their huge CRT monitors.
Put them on tables that would compress because of the weight.
You would have to take multiple trips because there would be so many wires and so many computers. And
they were all on LAN, so they were right there. They'd yell back and forth. It was much more unruly than it is today.
And after everyone was eliminated, there'd be two players, and everyone would be hunched behind them, watching them and seeing what was happening, and they could only see one point of view.
And that sense of community and being together and playing together has just grown and grown and grown. And yes, now our communities are millions of people, but we never imagined 20 years ago that the eSports industry and the size of what it is today could ever have been a thing. And we are very blessed and fortunate that Quake really started it. Every eSport game today can trace its roots all the way back to Quake.
And that's what's on the line, ladies and gentlemen. One of two remaining slots at QuakeCon here for Sacrifice. We have two teams that'll be battling it out, and we're just about to get started with this match, of course. We've got the players in the match, we've got the server set up, and in about 15 seconds here, we'll be going live with the first round between these two teams.
Yeah, really excited to see who comes out on top right now. Obviously, the winner will be ecstatic, the loser will be disappointed. Yeah, it just makes for great television, doesn't it?
I guess suppose so. We're not on television.
Well, okay.
Internet television.
Internet television. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it is time to get started. So let's jump in. Round one has begun. The winner of this one goes to QuakeCon. The loser, though, they're going home, unfortunately. Let's get it started here now. Once again, it is Team Johnson versus WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. Series is tied 1-1 in a dead heat, and the Soul is about to spawn.
Yeah, right now, if you're Johnson, you're thinking, got off some forward starts in that previous map. Let WhenInDoubt really get a lead on them. So they got to think we need to get out to the good start this time and keep the pressure on them. Because right now, if I'm WhenInDoubt, they believe right now. They seriously, going in, you can see when the interview with Napalm, not necessarily the most confident interview, but right now, I think they believe.
Well, WhenInDoubt, they managed to get control of the Soul, but here's the thing, they're having trouble transferring it onto an Obelisk there. Trying to see if they actually managed to make it all the way over, but no, at the very last second, Johnson stole it away. Took out 3 players from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, and off of that, they got a free cap. So they're going to be able to take the lower spawn over there in Obelisk A. Nice rush from Clamp, too. Denied Pyro the kill against him, and was able to hold on to control. So it's Team Johnson off to the hot start. Yeah,
great turnaround by Team Johnson. Right when it just looked like WhenInDoubt was going to get that first cap again and maybe get some momentum going their way in this map, Johnson just came through and took him out, stole the Soul right at the last second, and now they have Obelisk A.
Carnage holding on quite nicely right now, but there's going to be a beautiful push from venOm. He's got 3 kills in the last couple seconds alone. Sane finally going to be able to put him down, but now the problem is he's alone. In fact, venOm is going to kill him from the grave with that spit there. Carnage waiting for the LG to spawn in so we can have a little bit more firepower going into this next fight. But the Soul, it's already gone. It's been stolen away. He's trying to shoot it, but he actually forced it to shoot the Soul, which isn't really going to accomplish much. And now we can see once again there, the Obelisk is going to have the Soul on it for the first time for the guys over there on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut.
Yeah, good steal. They needed that. Johnson was starting to rack up a lot of percentage points here, so it was big for WhenInDoubt to get that and keep the momentum away from Team Johnson. And now we got the power up in 5 seconds, so if they can secure this, they'll be in good shape right now.
Power-up spawn coming in too. So with that power-up spawning here, it is looking like at first Team Johnson has been able to steal away, but we'll see if it remains that way. Clamp pushing out, able to do some massive damage on his own regard. He did go down, however, but he was not the one containing the power-up. I believe it's Carnage that has it right now, and it's not going to be him that steals the soul. Their Anarchy takes it, goes for a long toss over to the skill there. Now he can just go straight for the charge into the obelisk so they can cap it, but no, hold on. At the last second he got dropped down, but it doesn't matter. He was able to cap it. Napalm dropping down Clamp finally, and that protection should be going away over the next few seconds. So after we see that happen, well, the When in Doubt guys should be able to regroup and start for a push onto their opponent's obelisk to steal the soul again.
Yeah, and Team Johnson showed some great passing there on that last cap, right? A good throw to the Sorlag there in the middle area. It was just a perfect throw, good catch, good run. So it's nice passing.
And Napalm there doing a nice run himself after picking up the soul, was able to charge into an opponent, knock them out. He's continuing to chase it as the soul actually was intercepted just before it got capped. Pyro, nicely done, doing some work, and a quick switch for him too. He's finally going to go down Napalm, but not before, as I said, doing that massive damage. That was a beautiful quick switch over to the rail to get a second kill there. But now the soul's stolen again. No one can get it right now. It's in the hands of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut, and they're moving it just a big death ball across the map over to the other side.
Yeah, really giving Johnson again. They're putting up a good fight right now. It's coming down. It's going to come down to a few moments, a few power-ups. When in doubt, not letting Johnson get into the total groove yet, but Johnson, to their credit, is pulling ahead. They don't got that massive deficit that they had in the previous map, so they got to be feeling a little better about their start here.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to move in. 2 quick kills coming back out from Carnage and Sane. venOm trading one in as well. Beautiful ported from Carnage. Another slipgate kill for him to add to his counter right there, as he is able to knock out an opponent with that one, saving the soul, keeping it onto his team's obelisk for the time being. Just under 60%. They almost were able to channel it back. There's a little bit of confusion right now as the soul is getting tossed all over the place. So the players from Team Johnson are trying to figure out exactly what's going on, but at the end of the day, When in Doubt gets it out of their sight and is starting to push it back over here. But we got a power-up spawn, so they might have to delay the cap for a second, as KGB has the quad, and this is a dangerous man to give such a dangerous power-up.
Yeah, he's especially today, man. He is hot right now. I mean, woo! And you see him clearing everybody out right now. When in Doubt, great steal. Man, KGB, aka Shadow Master 666, he is just on fire. I mean, they really, if they win this, I'm telling you, tell me, boys, you owe KGB a steak dinner tonight. You guys pull this off.
I'll move in. He'll take down one more player before that power fades. And it's that one player that could have potentially sent it back over into Obelisk and allowed for Team Johnson to cap it. So nicely done from KGB. Saves his team from losing control of that soul right at the end of his power-up run here. More players are going to start pushing in, including the Sorlag, along with the scale bearer for both teams there. They're actually wiping the board pretty cleanly. Pyro trying to move back in, but he's fresh spawned, so he's only got the default shotgun. Doesn't even have the big one there. Still, though, is able to take down at least one player. Trade's going back and forth. KGB getting another slipgate kill. And now the Salt will return over towards the point for guys on Team Johnson, but immediately there are players still trying to steal it back away again.
Yeah, but still just a big steal just to keep that, that counter going up for When in Doubt. Got a few more ticks on their end. Just When in Doubt looked like after that KGB quad run could have got maybe a little momentum there.
We're a little over halfway to the next power-up spawn here too, so that's going to be coming back in about 45 seconds here now. venOm able to recap over here for the guys on When in Doubt, Gauntlet they've got that back under their arms. They're going to be able to continue ticking up as they close in on 60%. That's almost the tie point for what the guys on Team Johnson have.
Yeah, this is in the balance for sure. When in Doubt, battling back. Johnson started off pretty good. They had a 20+% to 0 to start off, but When in Doubt has really been battling back. This next power up in 15 seconds will really make a difference for them to get back in this round, because Johnson's starting to pull away from it a little bit.
Carnage holding on now as after they've recapped it. They're going to be able to maintain that lead. Power-up spawn coming in 10 seconds, so they need to start pushing over there. They don't have a lot of pressure on it. Now they're going to start to change that up. It's a little bit too late. KGB getting multiple kills. Clamp changing out to 1. And oh my goodness, Carnage! He tried to slipgate kill, but it got countered by the gauntlet sitting in the hands of his opponent, just completely grinding him to the ground as soon as he tried to slipgate. And no, it's not going to happen. And what's even worse now, venOm got the quad and they lost the soul.
Yeah, this is a big right now for When in Doubt. Oh man, unfortunate for them. The quad got ganged. Oh, okay, KGB picked it up, so they're in good shape. For a second there, I thought he might have got ganged up and lost that quad. So it looks like, man, This is, whew, at first I thought for sure Team Johnson had, now I am not so sure right now.
This could still go either way. The guys from Team Johnson are going to have another couple of opportunities here to move back in and steal that soul away. They got maybe 1 or 2 pushes left. And the good news is the site itself is relatively ill defended right now, but the 1 or 2 players that were defending it up until this point was KGB with 1 more.
Look at that lightning gun work. I mean, it is impressive. Seriously, I know this guy is known for his lightning gun, and he is showing why right now.
Just taking players out. It doesn't matter if it's his own teammate there. You can see he's got an itchy trigger finger. Wants to knock these guys out quickly. So everyone else from Team Johnson, they're kind of scurrying around down to the bottom side of the map right now. They're going to try to go up the jump pad, but that's just asking to kill yourself.
Yeah, especially the KGB sitting there. I mean, he's already lining you up when you're strafe jumping or strafing around. Coming up a jump pad is just making it way too easy for that man.
Well, Napalm still trying to knock some players out of range here too, and now we go. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to stop it. So at the end of the day, when in doubt, Gauntlet Out pushes up to 100%, and they claim round number 1.
Wow. Just wow. It's one of those things, you know, I talk about it all the time, about belief and hope and how you really want to take that edge out of your opponent. Like, you want them to be a little self-defeatist. You know, you want them to think, dang, these guys are good. You know, we can't beat them. But right now, they got to be thinking we can win. Yeah, I'm telling you, the confidence is sky high right now. Team Johnson is really giving them some hope right now, and I would imagine Team Johnson probably feeling a little bit of that pressure. I don't think they expected such a tight match.
And we can see the charge coming back in there too. Carnage was trying to deny it, but they do succeed in getting the pickup for the side of When in Doubt Gauntlet Out. Now they've got to take it over to the side. This is the problem before us. They got the initial soul pickup, but they were not able to transition it onto an obelisk. So this is where Team Johnson came in. They stole it away and they were able to take it. This time though, When in Doubt Gauntlet Out gets a much faster cap, and they steal the choice that Team Johnson had in the last round.
Yeah, this time, you know, like you mentioned, they didn't get the steal, so this time they get to start with a little lead, but Team Johnson stealing it, so 9% isn't that great of a start, but at least you got something in, you got to choose the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Carnage is going to be moving back in, looking to defend. We can take a look at it from his perspective. Denied by venOm, though. However, Sane is doing much better work with a super shotgun. He is going to have to stop venOm from tossing the soul away. Fails at that, but the fall does not go far. Only goes up to the gate, and immediately we are going to see Sane pick that back up and recapture it for Team Johnson as they now tie up at the 9% that their opponents have.
Extremely curious who gets this first power up. I mean, this is for everything right now. To see who goes to QuakeCon, oh my gosh, I could just imagine going through the emotions of these players right now. You know, who's cool, who's feeling the pressure. There's a lot of different mixed emotions right now. This is a tough game.
Well, they've got it under their control right now. More pushes coming back in. Trades going back and forth. Sane's still here, though, along with 1 or 2 others. They do port back in on the respawn really quickly. Sane quickly recapping the soul after one player was able to steal it away for a second. Didn't get to toss it off, so it was a quick recap. And Sane is running around this point right now, doing some massive damage on his own regard, but he's got to be careful. That dot, along with the sneaky pyro play, is going to let him sneak up from behind and now try to steal that soul away. Steals it, but again, not giving enough time to toss it away. So it's another quick recap, this time at the hands of Necrophasist.
Yeah, great start by Johnson here. 40% denied and still going up with the power-up. If they secure this power-up, they're going to be in great shape.
And the power-up does go into the hands of Team Johnson, so nicely done. They're looking solid so far in round 2 here, but they did have to leave the site open, and Sane doesn't have a whole lot of weapons to play off of just yet. He's managed to pick up the rockets, and now he's just working with the shotgun, actually, up close and personal. Rips through one player. He's going to push back in with his quad on the LG. See if he can get some kills off here. And there's the first opportunity for one. Gets that one pretty easily. Moving back in is the only one here, so he's got to be a little bit careful not to handle a quad. But look at it going absolutely insane. It's a team lunch from Sane. Triple kill for him. The respawns are back up, so he's got to do a little bit more. Finally goes down. It's after the quads expired, though. A teammate trying to steal the soul away for himself, but now their anarchy is completely dodging all the rail shots, but not for long. Carnage hitting one, trying to take down the Ranger, but he's also spited finally by Napalm on a charge.
What a great individual play by Sane. Took out the entire team with quad. Johnson, you know, thankfully supported them as they tried to get away with the soul there. You know, when in doubt, spawned quickly, came back in for quick pursuit of that soul. So good job by Johnson to get it back to their end.
Nice. Pyro doing a great job of running interference here too, preventing them from being able to cap it. They still managed to get it in, but he's going to immediately take it. They got maybe 1 or 2% off that cap at most. Now Sane is the one trying to chase down the soul here, prevent it from getting taken away. He succeeds in picking it back up, so he is going to get it back for his team here as they're now trying to run it back over to the side. But again, the soul just continues to go back and forth right up on top of rocket spawn.
Yeah, Team Johnson doing a good job this round. When in doubt, still, they got I mean, they only need 1 round to pull this upset off. I'm just, wow, I'm a little lost for words right now with what's going on because I don't know who's going to pull this out.
Sane got it back again, but he's very, very low. He's got to continue to make this run, otherwise he could find himself dead pretty soon here. Thankfully, he's got the overcharged health. He doesn't have any armor sitting behind it. That's why he got a little bit risky. He succeeded in taking it, though, but now the rest of his team is here, ready to defend it. You can see quite a few of those players from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut trying their best to hold on so they can push back in and immediately steal it away, but there was too much defense in them, so they had to back away, and now they have to focus on the power-up as well, so that's going to be spawning in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, they can't afford to let Team Johnson get a strong power-up run here right here if they want to get back in the round.
The scale bearer gets it, however, for WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. That's bad news for Team Johnson, as they can easily have that player push back in and get very aggressive on this point to steal the soul away. And that's exactly what is going to happen. The teammate's actually going to get it first, but napalm can support this run. If he gets tossed the soul, he can be the one that makes the run. Unfortunately, it's actually not going to be possible for him immediately because it's still on cooldown, the charge for him. So he just has to fall back and just make the run normally.
Yeah, it's easy to do that though when you're taking so little damage from the protection power-up. So this is an opportunity now for WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. Oh man, nice.
And he gets to it. Oh no, he's not able to chase down that soul that quickly. And I like that he just tossed it to himself. Beautiful play from carnage there, as he throws the soul, uses the dire orb, and then teleports over so that he can catch the soul that he just threw himself.
Very nice play. Very inventive. I like seeing inventive plays like that. It's very cool. Very cool. Carnage, one of the best rangers out there.
We're getting close now. 90% for Team Johnson as they're trying to steal the soul off of the obelisk. They are going to be able to succeed in getting that off of this point, but can they complete the run back to the other side? It's still sitting down in the green room right now. Pyro still having to make quite a bit of ground coverage to be able to fully capture it. And now, oh, he runs directly into the gauntlet there, so he'll be taken down. KGB trying to hold it too, but he doesn't get very far. Killed by the charge from Clamp, but now Sane has it. He's going to go right through the teleporter. Beautiful rocket jump. Recaptures it, and now, like I said before, past 90%, just a few more needed, they can steal round 2.
Yeah, big comeback from Johnson. Obviously, they needed this, otherwise they're not going to QuakeCon. It looks like we're going to round 3, winner take all.
Well, hold on now, as they did just steal the soul away, so it's not done just yet. If they can take it back quickly enough, then they might still be able to win it out right here and now, but WhenInDoubtGauntletOut could still have another opportunity here. They're picking up quite a few kills. Napalm did just run right past his teammate that's holding onto the soul, so they're going to be able to make that run. Another power-up coming up in 10 seconds too, so you can bet right now that Johnson, I'm actually surprised they're getting this aggressive considering the lead they have. In my eyes, they should be sitting back right now focusing on the power-up, but they don't actually have that many players surrounding it, so this might be easy actually for members of the opposing team to get it, but no, it is going to be a member of Team Johnson that takes the protection, and with that, Carnage is going to be the one holding it, so he'll be able to push back in. He's got a little bit of support from his teammates, but he's going to be the one to wield the soul and try to run it back across the map. Look at how fast he's moving right there. There's going to be players to contest immediately on that point, but he's got the protection, so he can sit here and contest it. If he takes these guys down fast enough, he can stop the steal from happening. Fails at that one, but quickly takes down the player that did steal it, so recaptures it. Now at 99%, just needs to stop the remaining players from pushing onto the sacrifice point, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Johnson, Team Johnson that is, takes the second round, and with that, they tie it up at 1-1.
Yeah, clutch power-up pickup there by Carnage at the end to seal the deal for Team Johnson to force this to a final round. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is, talk about excitement. I mean, Team Johnson, probably a bit of a heavy favorite going into this match. When in doubt, giving them all they can handle. And now here we are with a winner-take-all scenario.
All 3 maps have gone all 3 rounds, I believe. So 9 rounds here of sacrifice having been played out. And oh, nicely done from Carnage. He's going to get another slipgate kill here, but taken down a moment later. However, his team was still able to hold on to the soul temporarily. They're going to try to run it back over to the lower site, and they'll get it. So we switch the obelisk once again. WhenInDoubtGauntletOut controls the top site. Their opponents, Team Johnson, are going to be working for the bottom site over here at Obelisk A.
Yeah, nice to see, again, Johnson trying to get off to a better start than they have in some of these previous rounds. So getting to a nice lead, especially with how competitive and close these rounds have been. Certainly getting the beginning ticks on your sacrifice, to sacrifice your obelisk is important.
So Carnage coming back up as well here. He is trying to pull off some of the other players like Napalm, one of them are charging in, trying to get a quick steal. They will succeed in getting that. Necrophagus is getting pushed back here too, but he's going to be able to run right in the way. He puts the spin on the ground. He's going to do great damage to players that are trying to complete the run on the soul there, and you can see that red trail. It didn't mean that Team Johnson stole it back. It's their anarchy too, so he's going to be hard to track down. He's going to complete the recap. There is a dire orb moving its way back in. However, it's not going to be too successful picking up any kills here. Necrophagus is going off with the LG. Can't be hit by that shotgun that his opponent's anarchy is trying to use. Rips 2 players to shreds, holds off the defense. Another player trying to move in to steal, but no, gets denied by Carnage. And now he's over to the rail to take out this last Sorlag, doing some good damage to it. Can he get the kill? There it is. Carnage holding off again.
Yeah, good defense right now by Team Johnson, getting off to a commanding lead to start the map. 20 seconds power up coming up. They got to be thinking, get this power up, put the pressure. Let's get our trip to Quake sealed up now, boys, because this is it. I mean, they can't afford any more errors.
And they're almost at 50% now, just under 2 minutes into the round here. So with that, as long as they can get control of the first power, they may be able to quickly skirt. Here's the problem, though. Everyone from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut is focusing purely on that power. But look at how quickly they're getting torn apart here now. KGB with a great WhenInDo is able to steal away that protection just when it seemed like the tables were going to flip.
This guy has been making critical clutch play for his team all match. I mean, I can't, if they come, this is their chance to come back right now, man. KGB is playing great today.
KGB jumping back in, he steals the soul now. He's got support from his Anarchy to run across the map. He's going to be using the rocket jump. There we go, perfect jump right into Obelisk B, and now his team's got the cap.
Yeah, what a great directional rocket jump right there to get the speed and just have the perfect angle to just clear the wall. So you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low to run into the wall. So great rocket jump there by KGB.
Shadowmaster still pushing back here as well, wrapping around the corner here. The soul getting stolen away. Unfortunately, Shadowmaster / KGB was not able to help out with the actual defense to prevent the steal there. So Johnson actually had a pretty clean push. Went right across the map, same fashion that KGB just did, and now they've got the cap. Clan, he's under pressure. He's got a lot of players trying to push in to steal that soul away. venOm getting multiple kills. It looks like Carnage shuts it down for now, but Carnage, he's quite low, only 30 HP, trying to snipe players out at the rail from range, but eventually he's going to go down to KGB, and there's Pyro stealing the soul off the point. He's taking it into the side room over here by Tribal, though, so he's got to be careful not to run into any opponents here. We can see that, trying to wrap around, avoids the charge from the opponent's skill there here, but gets trapped at the very end, taken down by Necrophagus. Another teammate from the side of WhenInDoubt's going to be able to pick that up and complete the run for them.
Yeah, Team Johnson doing a really good job in these scrubs, though, keeping the soul more on their end. Even when, a middle Gauntlet out seemed to get a little momentum there with the KGB run. They didn't get much out of that. Team Johnson was able to steal soul back and start getting more percentage points on their end. But we've seen some big comebacks and sacrifice before. This is not an insurmountable lead by any means.
So, now for Team Johnson here, they did manage to steal that soul away. They've got to cap it again, and they've also got to worry about other power spawns. That's coming in a second. This choke point back over here at top mid is proving to be so detrimental to both teams. Really, they're constantly getting ripped apart right here. Napalm trying to hold on to the power up spawn point, tries to charge into it, but it looks like he missed that timing and was forced outside of the site itself. So another member of his team, however, was able to move back in and pick it up somehow. It just looked like there was like 3 players from Team Johnson there. I didn't even know that there was another guy from WhenInDoubt sitting in that point. They were all focused on defending the site. Somehow they still got the power up too.
I can guess what happened. Take a wild guess. KGB came in with the dire orb, and oh my gosh, I mean, what a great play.
Carnage denies, however, as we do see Napalm trying to hold close up there, and some rail people trying to go up the jump pad. Nice kill for him. He goes down a second later. KGB back in the fight again, though, looking to defend this. A little bit of an overreaction there. Took him and realized, oh, everyone's dead here. But now he's going to be facing a lot of LG firepower. You can see that. 3 quick kills, all of them coming back out. But Pyro melting the entire offending force right now. It's down to Sane, who has to use the injection to keep himself alive. Thankfully, he'll group with a teammate here, and they'll complete the run, but they're still surrounded, and there's the Napalm charge. He's got the soul back under his arms now.
Great timing by Napalm. Obviously, great communication from his team to let him know where the soul was. That was a preemptive charge down there. He knew he was down there. Great play by Napalm.
Napalm as well is going to be able to actually bunny hop on top of an opponent and kill him with that. Nicely found by Napalm there. He's going to be able to hop around the corner, go up on top now, getting a cap there, and once again continuing to channel it for WhenInDoubtGauntletOut.
Yeah, this is, wow, what a nice little comeback here by GauntletOut, really putting the game in the balance. If they can get some good defense here, I know Johnson's going to put some pressure, try to get the soul back over here after they just got it stolen, but this power up in the next 30 seconds, GauntletOut just needs to make sure they get a steal here and can get this next power up, and it's just so close.
Yeah, Necrophagus and some of the others here now are trying to push back in, but it's a very, very close fight between both of these teams right now. Another power-up spawn about to come in about 10 seconds too, so they also have to be mindful of that. Pyro going to complete the rerun back over here to Obelisk B. They're still about 30% behind what Team Johnson have, but they can very easily close that gap in just a matter of seconds, especially with Team Johnson being distracted right now. There's a massive fight for control over the power-up, but at the end of the day, Sane's got it for Team Johnson, and he's going to very quickly make the run-up over here to Obelisk B to steal that soul away, stop them from ticking, stop them from tying it up, but he may have made a fatal mistake here. He got that soul, threw it away. I don't know where it landed, but he lost the quad, and that's what's important. Another member of WhenInDoubtGauntletOut got it back, and he's already recapped it, so that was a wasted quad.
Wow, one of the critical aspects of team play in this game, when you got to have team support. You can't just go in there by yourself thinking you can kill everybody with quad. He got surrounded, they took him out. Wow, I mean, that was a critical error there, because now, when in doubt, I mean, they're going to catch up right here with that quad run. This team, I don't know.
They're only about 5% behind right now. The Soul did get stolen. It's currently in neutral territory, though, as they just chucked it away and weren't really able to hold on to defend it. They have a one-on-one fight to try and hold onto it. Sane, Necrophagus, both picking up kills. Is it enough to get the Soul? Though it looks like it was. Is Clamp's going to make a run over here? He's under trouble, though. He needs some help from his teammates very quickly. He's on the gauntlet, tries to turn that fight around, does do an additional 75 damage, but cannot stop it. And oh, actually, a missed toss from the players over here on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut is going to cost them, as now the Anarchy, he's got to use his injection to make the run.
Yeah, man, it's so back and forth right now. This is intense. When in doubt, I mean, they just need a little good defense right here, and honestly, there's not going to be a next power-up. All they need to do is play good defense
The
right
power-up
now.
is still 40% away, and now the guys from WhenInDoubtGauntletOut pushed it past 90%. Not enough to tie it. They're still 2% behind Team Johnson. Speaking of Johnson himself there, Carnage moving in. He was able to get another slipgate kill as they attempt to complete the run, and in fact, they do complete, as now they're pushing up to 99%, trying to hold off these last couple strivers. They're taking them down. They're stopping them from getting onto the point. There's not going to be any additional contention, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's Team Johnson that take our final map 2-1 and win the series in the same fashion.
Wow. Just so intense, so close. Congratulations, to Team Johnson. Well fought. And, man, when in doubt, gauntlet out. You got to give your credit to that team for really pushing a very talented roster in Team Johnson to the brink of defeat. That was their spot. I mean, it was really in the balance. And credit to KGB, man, on WhenInDoubtGauntletOut. I mean, KGB really was putting in work for them today. They were, it was just so close. I can't say enough. What a great match. 60
frags for Necrophagist, 64 frags for Sane over the course of that map. Both those players played their hearts out, and it has earned them now an invite into the Quake World Championships for Sacrifice. They're going to be taking one of the 4 North American slots. There's still one to go, however.
That's right. We still got Top Gun and I Totem Telly's coming up, but man, I am